Welcome my dear students. In this scenario of corona, I will try to explain you the module 8 chemical equilibrium, some concepts of chemical equilibrium. I hope it will become easy for you after watching this video. So let's go to the module. This is module 8 chapter 14 chemical equilibrium. Before we start the chemical equilibrium, we have to understand these two types of reaction. Some reactions are irreversible and some reactions are reversible. Irreversible reaction are those in which the reactant react and product is formed only, means in this one direction. You will see this here. This sign represent that it is irreversible reaction. Potassium chloride, this potassium chloride change to potassium chloride and oxygen gas. This reaction cannot go reverse. Now the reversible reaction will be represented by this type of arrow. This is double arrow here. The double arrow means this reaction is reversible. In this, the products also react in backward direction and make the reactants. So reaction in both direction. That is the situation the equilibrium will attain. In the irreversible reaction here, equilibrium will not attain. It is on one way reaction, so there is no equilibrium here. But in this reversible reaction, equilibrium will be attained. So when you see this sign, it is a sign of equilibrium state. So what is the equilibrium state? Equilibrium state is the situation in the system at which the rate of forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction. This means the concentration of the reactants and the product will stop changing. Inside they are reacting, but the net change will not appear in the system. Let's take the example. First take the example from physics. Suppose you are sitting in the aeroplane, although you are moving with the hundreds of kilometers per hour, but you don't feel anything. That is equilibrium. But in chemical system, here the water as a liquid, water changes to vapor, that is we represent by G, gaseous phase, and also the vapor of the water vapors are condensed to form the liquid water. In the system, this will stay as a equilibrium state. Both the rate at which the liquid water will change to vapor and water vapor will change to liquid will be same. So that is called equilibrium state. Take another example, chemical equation. Dinitrogen tetroxide, this is a gas, it is a colorless gas. When you keep it in the system, it will slowly change into 2 moles, double mole of nitrogen dioxide. This gas is reddish brown color. This color you can see here in the system. So after some time equilibrium will be attained. Then when the equilibrium will be attained, then the rate of forward reaction will be equal to the rate of reverse reaction, and that is called equilibrium state. You will see only the reddish brown color because dinitrogen tetroxide is a colorless gas. So this is one of the example. Now the law of mass action, that is important for us to calculate various problem. Law of mass action is nothing but a simple mathematical equation that relates the ratio of concentration of the product and the reactant, and when we take this ratio, the answer will be constant. That is called equilibrium constant. Suppose for example a general equation, A mole of A, B mole of B convert into C mole of C and D mole of D. This is small a, small b, small c and small d are number of moles in a balanced chemical equation. So in the law of mass action, the concentration of product divided by the concentration of the reactants will be a constant value, that is called equilibrium constant. Here this small c will become power, this C mole in the expression, equilibrium expression, this will become power, and the D will become the power of D. Not like in chemical kinetics where we calculate the X and Y as an order of reaction. There we calculate this X and Y, but here we don't need to calculate. Actually we have to just see in the balanced chemical equation whatever the number of moles are there, we have to write in the equilibrium expression as it is, and that will give you a constant value. This will be called equilibrium constant. Now we have different let's go for example before we go to the different types of equilibrium. So this example again, dinitrogen tetroxide and nitrogen dioxide is a reaction system. We take different concentration of nitrogen dioxide. It increases from 0 in different experiments. It increases from 0 to 0.2. In different experiments, the concentration of dinitrogen tetroxide, we are taking different concentration from 0.6 and then decreasing slowly, and in the last experiment we are taking 0 concentration. In all the cases, in all the experiment, we can calculate, we can measure the concentration at equilibrium state by some machine, by device, and by some methods. So we will find the concentration at the equilibrium state, different concentrations. And if we just simply take a ratio between the nitrogen dioxide and dinitrogen tetroxide, it is a random values. There is no relationship between these values. But when we put the proper ratio means this square. This square comes from this 2. Let me mark it for you. So this 2 comes as a square here, this square here. So when we write this square here, the ratio will give you a constant value. See, all the values are almost constant. So that constant is called equilibrium constant. That is the main concept you have to understand. Now, what the equilibrium constant indicate to us? So this is just simple thing. We can elaborate this in the end of the chapter. If the equilibrium constant value is much greater than 1, then the reaction will proceed in the rightwards direction, means forward direction, or it will produce more products. If the concentration, if the value of equilibrium constant K is much smaller than 1, then the reaction will go reverse in the left, towards left, in the reverse direction, and more reactants will be produced. So this same thing I will elaborate by diagrammatic way. These are the reactants. Small box means they are decreasing. Products in the big box means they are increasing. If the K equilibrium constant value is much higher than 1, big value, then the reactants will decrease and product will increase, means reaction will go in the forward direction. Reaction will go in the forward direction. More products will form. On the contrary, if the equilibrium constant value is much smaller than 1, then more reactants will form and product will decrease. Reaction will go reverse direction. So the value of equilibrium constant indicates us that which direction the reaction will go. Okay, now two types of equilibrium systems are there: homogeneous and heterogeneous. First, take the homogeneous. Homogeneous system in which all the components are in one phase, same phase. What are the phases? Phases are four phases are there: solid, liquids, gaseous, or the aqueous. Aqueous means is water-based solution. In this we will calculate, we have to take the concentration of the reactants. So aqueous means water-based solution, and we will calculate the equilibrium constant through the concentration. And in the gas phase, we will calculate the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure of the gases. But for the liquid and solid, we will not consider it in the equilibrium expression. See, I will read for you. The concentration of solids and the pure liquid are not included in the expression for the equilibrium constant. Means you have to remove it. I will further elaborate in after a few minutes. So this is the example here. In this example, both the components are in the gas phases. So we can calculate in terms of concentration. When we write this bracket, the bracket means we are calculating the equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. This C for concentration, Kc. And when we calculate the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure, then we write the equation like this: pressure of nitrogen dioxide with a square. Again, I would like to mention you the 2. See, this 2 here, this 2 becomes the power. This is the power here, square. So don't forget to write the powers here in the equilibrium expression. Either you are calculating the concentration, or in terms of concentration, or in terms of pressure. In both the cases, you have to mention the power. See, this 2, this power also here, will be presented here. This square is here. So we have now two equilibrium constant, one equilibrium constant in terms of concentration, another equilibrium constant in terms of pressure. We will study this relationship, but here in this case the more important thing is that the concentration of the solids and the concentration of the pure liquid are not, you see this, not included in the expression. We have to remove this. Okay, elaborate and see the example here. Another example. Now this is also homogeneous equilibrium. This is acetic acid and this is water as a liquid. This is aqueous solution, means concentration is there, and this water is a pure water, so it is mentioned as a liquid. Acetate ion is aqueous state, concentration must be there, and hydronium ion is also in the aqueous state, concentration will be there. So if we write the complete equilibrium expression, then we are mentioning all the two products and the two reactants here. But because I told you here in the above case, pure solid and pure liquid must be removed from the equilibrium expression. So because the water, look here, the water is, the concentration is not changing, it is remaining same. So what we have to do, we have to remove this water. Don't include the concentration of pure solid and the pure liquid in the chemical equilibrium expression. So this will be the final expression. In this, if you calculate by this equation, your answer will be correct. So because the water is constant, another constant, this will be out of the equilibrium expression. So here it says another information in the generally the equilibrium constant is dimensionless. Dimensionless means there is no unit for equilibrium constant in both the cases, in case you're KP. Now let's come to the heterogeneous equilibrium. In the heterogeneous equilibrium, we take example, there is calcium carbonate, that is solid, calcium oxide, that is also a solid, but carbon dioxide is a gas. So a system at equilibrium in which different phases are there, different phases. Two are solid and one is gas. So what will happen when we write the equilibrium expression? Here in this case, we have to remove calcium oxide because this is solid, and we have to remove calcium carbonate also because this is also solid. So what left? Only carbon dioxide gas. If we calculate in terms of concentration, so we put a bracket and moles per liter concentration will come here, and that will be exactly equal to the Kc itself, because there is no other component accounted in the equilibrium expression. When we calculate in terms of pressure, then the partial pressure of carbon dioxide gas will be exactly equal to the equilibrium constant in terms of pressure, because other components are not included here. So what is the reason of not including calcium carbonate and calcium oxide? Because their concentration is not changing. Not changing means constant, we don't consider it. So again it is mentioned here, all the pure solid and all the pure liquid must be removed from the equilibrium expression. Now we have two equilibrium constant, Kc and Kp. So there must be some relationship between Kc and Kp. We can convert Kc into Kp. Most of the case Kc is not equal to Kp. Okay, and then we take a general equation, same A mole, B mole, C mole and D mole of the products and the reactants. So this is the mathematical expression to convert Kp into Kc and Kc into Kp. In this equation, all terms are clear for you. Kp means equilibrium constant in terms of pressure. Kc means equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. R is gas constant 0.0821, you already know. Temperature will be in the absolute. You have to add 273 in the temperature to make it absolute temperature. Delta N is a new term for you. So delta N represent the number of mole, delta means change in number of mole. This is power here. How to calculate delta N? Before you go to calculate this Kp or Kc, first you have to calculate delta N by looking in the equation. This is your general equation. So how to calculate? Delta N is equal to number of moles of the product minus the number of mole of the reactants. What is the number of moles of the products? This C and this D. So C plus D, total number of moles of the product minus total number of moles of the reactant will give you the delta N. But remember, again, You have to remove all the solid and all the pure liquid from the equation. Don't calculate, even here you don't calculate the number of moles of pure solid and pure liquid. Only gases and the aqueous phases will be accounted. Now there are some information about the equilibrium constant which I already explained you during the lecture, that if you are calculating in terms of concentration, then only molarity will be the method of calculation. When the phase is gaseous, then both in terms of molarity and also in terms of partial pressure in atmosphere, you can calculate both. For the gaseous phase you can calculate the Kc and the Kp, both you can calculate. But in terms that when the system is only in the aqueous phase, you can calculate only the, in terms of molarity means Kc, not the Kp. But you can mathematically convert by the equation. And here again it says that pure solid and pure liquid will not appear in the chemical constant and will not appear also in the calculation of delta n. Equilibrium constant is dimensionless, means there is no unit for Kc and Kp. In coding the value of balance equation, balance equation is required to write the write the equilibrium expression. Balance is required because all the number of moles will come as a power of the concentration of the reactants and the product. So I hope this all information which I try to explain you quickly, and I told you the scenario is that we cannot take the class because of the corona. So in the next lecture we will go to solve the problems. I hope you understand this.